All right, so Dubai is calling your name in 2024, huh? Global hub, amazing weather, and everyone's talking about those sweet tax breaks.
It's definitely got a lot going for it.
But let's be real. Moving to a whole new country.
Oh.
It can feel like, I don't know, trying to put together a puzzle blindfolded.
Absolutely. There are so many pieces to figure out.
That's where this awesome YouTube guide by Thomas comes in.
Oh, I've seen that one.
He actually moved to Dubai himself.
Yeah.
And lays out the whole process step by step from like A to Z.
Super helpful.
So in this deep dive, we're going to pull out the juiciest bits, add in our own expertise,
Right.
and boom, you'll be ready to rock that Dubai life without making those, rookie mistakes.
Those can be costly.
Yeah.
What I really like about Thomas's approach is that he's totally honest about both the good and the bad. He doesn't sugarcoat anything.
Nope. He gives you the real deal on the costs, the whole business setup, and even stuff you need to sort out before you even think about those Dubai visas.
The exit strategy.
Oh, yeah, that exit strategy thing.
Blew my mind.
It's like, wait, what? I need to figure out how to leave before I even arrive.
Exactly.
And then there's the whole banking thing.
Oh, yeah, the banks.
And credit scores.
It's a whole different system.
Totally different. We'll definitely unpack all of that.
Looking forward to that.
Plus, we got to talk about those golden visas. Everyone's buzzing about those.
They're very tempting.
Very, very tempting. But before we get lost in those Dubai daydreams, let's talk about the financial side of things.
Always a good place to start.
Tuomas estimates that you'll need something like, I think he said $7,000.
Yeah, somewhere in that range.
To $9,000 just for initial setup costs.
Things like visas, registering your business, medical tests, all that fun stuff.
That's just to get in the door.
Exactly.
So this is where being financially prepared really comes into play.
I think that's one of the biggest takeaways here. You're making a significant investment in your future. So you really want to have a solid base before you even consider making the move.
So listeners, before you get too excited about those Dubai skyscrapers,
right,
take a moment to do a reality check. Does that initial investment, that $7,000 to $9,000, does that fit into your budget?
And on top of that, you have to think about the ongoing costs. Tuomas recommends having at least $7,000 to $10,000 coming in each month to really make it worthwhile.
That's a good chunk of change.
It is. He compares the cost of living in Dubai to London, but you might actually get more bang for your buck there.
Interesting. So it's not just about the cost, it's about the value you get in return.
Precisely.
All right. And speaking of things that might surprise you, let's dive into what Tuomas calls the exit strategy.
Here we go. This is the one that really threw me for a loop.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Turns out you need to figure out how to legally and financially leave your home country before you can even start digging into those Dubai visas.
It's all about tax residency. Some countries are pretty strict about how you sever those ties.
And some even have exit taxes. Can you believe that?
It's true. Tuomas use the UK as an example. They have this whole set of tests.
Oh, yeah.
To determine your non-residency status. And that directly impacts how much time you can still spend there each year.
So it's not just about saying, bye, I'm out of here.
Nope. And it gets even more complicated in certain cases, like think about Canada.
Oh, right.
They have an exit tax. And then there's the U.S. with their citizenship-based taxation.
Oh, boy.
That's a whole other beast. That's where having some expert advice, like from someone specializing in international taxation, could really come in handy.
Totally. Services like DreamSoft can be lifesavers in situations like this. They know the ins and outs of all these complex rules.
Absolutely.
So listeners, start researching those home country rules ASAP. And don't be shy about reaching out for help if you need it.
Seriously, it could save you a major headache later on.
Now, once you've got that whole exit strategy sorted out, it's time to shift gears and focus on setting up your business in Dubai.
Because here's the thing. Dubai might be super welcoming to entrepreneurs.
Yeah, it's known for that.
But you still need a way to make money there to get that visa.
Makes sense.
So essentially, there are two main paths you can take. There's the golden visa, which is more for high net worth individuals, investors, people in specific professions.
Sure.
And then there's the more common route, which is setting up a company and essentially employing yourself.
Because you're your own boss.
Exactly. And Tuomas focuses on that second route for good reason.
Right.
It's what most people end up doing. You set up a company in a free zone.
Those are perfect for online businesses, right?
Exactly. Or on the mainland, if you're operating within the UAE, then you just hire yourself as an employee. Having a solid digital marketing plan can make a huge difference when setting up a business.
Oh, definitely.
Companies like DreamSoft do a great job of helping with that.
I was just thinking about that. They can help with everything from building those awesome landing pages
Yeah, they're great at that.
to running your whole social media and email marketing campaigns.
Super helpful.
But Thomas has a little warning about this whole process.
Uh-oh. What's that?
He says to watch out for agencies that, well, let's just say, aren't exactly competent.
Oh, there are definitely some shady ones out there.
So choose wisely, listeners.
Yeah.
Make sure whoever you're working with is giving you solid, legally sound advice.
Absolutely. Your business depends on it.
Tuomas even suggests going directly to those free zones.
Right.
Or really doing your homework on the laws yourself.
Can't hurt to be extra informed. And another thing that can really make a difference is having a professional website.
Oh yeah, first impressions matter.
And a strong online presence in general. DreamSoft excels in that area too. They've got website and mobile app development covered, SEO, content writing, all the good stuff. It's all about attracting clients and getting your name out there.
That's key in a market like Dubai. All right, so let's break down those steps to get you from that initial e-visa
All right, the e-visa.
to full-blown residency. You set up your company,
Right.
you apply for your employment visa, then you get that temporary e-visa, and then
Then you can finally book that flight to Dubai.
you made it.
You're in. But once you're there are 3 big things you've got to take care of.
Okay, hit me.
First up, you got to apply for your Emirates ID.
Emirates ID, got it.
That's at an AIMR center.
Okay,
Then there's a simple medical test you have to go through.
just a checkup.
Easy peasy. And lastly, you'll do your biometric registration. That's like fingerprinting and all that jazz.
Makes sense. And Tuomas has a little warning here.
Oh, what's that?
He says, whatever you do, don't book your flight out of Dubai until your residency is fully approved.
Oh, that's a good tip.
Otherwise, you could get stuck.
Not ideal?
So careful planning is key here.
Agreed. Working with a reputable agency, like, again, DreamSoft, could really smooth out that transition.
They know how to navigate all those bureaucratic processes.
Like a pro.
Okay, fast forward. You've got your residency. You're ready to experience the Dubai lifestyle.
Here we go.
Now, the big question is, where do you want to live?
Tuomas recommends checking out some of the most popular expat areas. Dubai Marina,
Ooh, Dubai Marina.
downtown Business Bay,
Fancy.
and of course the luxurious Palm Jumeirah.
I've heard so much about that.
Each one has its own unique vibe and perks.
Definitely something for everyone.
Exactly. Tuoma's advice is to rent a car and just explore.
That's what I would do.
See what feels right for you.
And here's where Dubai gets really interesting. The banking system.
This is where things get wild.
Forget everything you know about credit scores.
Seriously, it's a whole new ball game.
Get this. You might have to put down a deposit for a credit card.
Yeah, I know.
And that deposit can actually earn interest.
I know, it's crazy. It's so different, but it kind of makes sense in the context of Dubai.
It's like, what? But okay, cool.
Exactly.
Now, about finding a place to live. Tuomas initially used Blue Ground,
Oh, yeah, Bluegram.
which is like Airbnb,
Short-term rentals.
for that flexibility.
Yeah.
But if you're looking for a more traditional long-term lease,
Okay.
he recommends Bayut and Property Finder.
Good resources.
Just keep in mind, those long-term leases usually require annual upfront payments.
That's something to budget for.
So think about your lifestyle, your budget, and whether you need a temporary base camp
Yeah.
or you're ready to put down some roots.
Big decisions. We've
yeah.
covered a lot of ground already.
Oh, right.
We talked about those pre-move finances, those crucial exit strategies, setting up your business, getting those residency requirements sorted out.
It's a lot to process, but it's just the tip of the iceberg.
Moses goes even deeper in his video.
He does.
He talks about managing your finances in Dubai,
Right.
understanding the tax implications, and even how to renew your visa.
We'll get into all those juicy details in the next part of our deep dive. But for now, we've given you a solid foundation.
A good starting point. And remember, DreamSoft can be a valuable resource throughout this whole journey. They can help with everything from the marketing to those nitty-gritty details of actually setting up your business in a new country.
They're like your Dubai dream team.
Exactly.
All right, let's close this part out with a little thought experiment.
I love those.
Imagine yourself a year from now, living and working in Dubai. What are you doing?
Yeah, what's your life like?
What challenges have you overcome?
Good question.
And how has this whole experience shaped you?
Lots to think about.
It's all about visualizing that future and taking those first steps to make it happen.
You gotta start somewhere. Welcome back to our deep dive on moving to Dubai in 2024. Before the break, We covered all that essential prep work.
Yeah, we tackled the finances, the exit strategies, setting up your business, getting your residency, all that good stuff.
Now it's time to dig into what it's really like to actually run a business in Dubai.
The nitty-gritty.
And Tuomas, he's super transparent about some of the challenges he faced.
Okay, lay it on me.
Yeah.
What kind of challenges are we talking about?
Well, there's one he mentions that's especially interesting, I think, for anyone with an online business.
Oh, this is right up our alley.
It's something you might not even think about until you're, in the thick of it.
All right, you've got me intrigued. Spill the beans.
It has to do with billing customers through platforms like Stripe.
Stripe, okay.
So apparently, when you have a UAE company and you're billing internationally, you might find that a lot of customer credit cards get declined.
Really? That's a problem.
Yeah, it seems like the system sometimes flags those transactions coming from a UAE company as, potentially fraudulent.
Huh. That's a curveball I wouldn't have seen coming. So what did Tuomas do about it?
Well, he ended up setting up a separate U.S. LLC,
Okay.
basically creating a billing company that's owned by his UAE holding company.
I see. So it's like a workaround.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That way, the transactions look like they're coming from a U.S. entity, which seems to be more widely accepted.
It's like building a bridge between your Dubai business and your international customers.
Exactly. And Tuomas points out that you don't necessarily have to do this right off the bat.
Right.
You can test the waters with your UAE company first and see how it goes.
That makes sense. Don't overcomplicate things unnecessarily.
Exactly. Now, are you ready to talk about everyone's favorite topic?
Taxes?
Oh, taxes. Everyone loves taxes.
Well, in Dubai, you might actually start to love taxes.
Okay, now that's a bold statement. I got to hear more about this.
Because up until this year, you didn't actually have to file any financial statements.
Wow.
It was a 0% tax haven.
Sounds like paradise.
It was pretty sweet. But things have changed a little bit recently.
Yeah, I did hear there were some changes. So what's the deal now?
Well, as of this year, they've introduced a 9% corporate tax.
9%, okay.
But here's the good news. If your company makes less than 3 million dirhams in a year, which is roughly $900,000,
Okay.
you can apply for what's called a small business exemption.
So you can still avoid those taxes altogether.
Exactly.
That's a pretty generous threshold. It is. And even if you do exceed that 3 million dirham mark, the first 375,000 dirhams are still exempt.
Okay, so it's like a tiered system. 0% up to a certain point, and then 9% on anything above that.
You got it. Now, what about personal income tax?
Yeah, that's the big one for a lot of people.
Well, good news again. Personal income tax is still at 0%.
Nice.
You can pay yourself a salary from your company, and as long as it's considered reasonable,
Okay, reasonable.
it's completely tax-free.
And of course, reasonable is, open to interpretation.
Exactly. Tuomas even jokes about how that can be tricky to define, especially for someone like him, content creator. But the general idea is to think about what you'd pay someone else to do your job.
Makes sense. So basically, you're taxed on any profit your company makes above and beyond your salary, and of course, any deductible business expenses.
Exactly. And speaking of deductions, they work pretty much the same way they do in most Western countries. Your standard business expenses are all deductible.
All right, good to know. Now, what about VAT?
Yes, VAT, value-added tax. It's set at 5% in Dubai.
5%, okay.
But here's the catch. It only applies to sales made within the UAE.
Okay.
So if you're selling internationally, you don't have to charge VAT.
That's a huge relief for a lot of online businesses.
It is. However, there's a bit of a twist.
Uh-oh, I don't like twists. What's the twist?
Even if you're only selling outside the UAE, you still need to register for VAT once you hit a threshold of 375,000 dirhams in taxable supplies.
Taxable supplies. What does that mean exactly?
Essentially, it's any direct sales made through your company. It's best to check the official guidelines for the precise definitions, but that's the general idea.
Okay, so we've got corporate tax and VAT registration to keep in mind. Any other annual filing requirements we should be aware of?
Yes. You'll also need to renew your business license every year.
Okay.
And that usually involves paying a fee, which is usually pretty similar to your initial setup costs.
All right, so another ongoing expense to factor into the budget. And what about renewing our personal visas?
Yes. So if you're on an employment visa, like the one you'd get through setting up your own company, you'll need to renew that every 2 years.
Every 2 years, okay.
Yeah.
You mentioned something earlier about a golden visa, though. How does that work?
Right. The golden visa is valid for a glorious 10 years.
10 years. That sounds pretty amazing.
It is. It's specifically for investors, high net worth individuals, professionals in certain fields.
Okay.
Think of it as a long-term residency option with a lot of stability and benefits.
It's definitely tempting.
It is. But of course, it comes with its own set of requirements and qualifications.
Of course, there's always a catch.
Always. So as we wrap up this part of our deep dive, what are the key takeaways here? What should our listeners be focusing on?
Yeah, what's the bottom line?
Well, I think first and foremost, thorough research is absolutely essential.
Always a good idea.
Dubai's business landscape is constantly evolving, so things like regulations, tax laws, visa requirements, they can all change. So staying updated is crucial.
Don't just rely on what you heard from your friend's cousin's neighbor.
Exactly. You got to do your own due diligence. Secondly, remember that setting up a business in a new country can be complex, especially when it comes to things like marketing.
Right.
So don't be afraid to seek professional guidance. Services like DreamSoft, for example, they have such a wide range of expertise.
Yeah, they're a one-stop shop.
They can help you navigate the legal stuff, the financial stuff, and even build a really strong online presence, which is crucial these days.
Especially in a place like Dubai. I mean, think about it. A well-designed website, a solid SEO strategy, engaging content that can make all the difference in attracting clients and building your brand.
Exactly. It's an investment worth considering. And finally, I think Tuomas's emphasis on adaptability is really important.
Adaptability, okay.
Things might not always go according to plan.
That's life, right.
Exactly. You might encounter unexpected challenges, but you got to be resourceful. You got to be willing to learn and adapt.
Roll with the punches.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to ask for help when you need it.
So we've explored the costs, the exit strategies, the business setup, taxes, visas. I mean, we've really covered a lot of ground here.
We have. But now it's time to move on to the really exciting part.
Okay, I'm ready.
Actually living in Dubai. What's it really like to be there?
Let's dive in. Okay, so we've crunched those numbers, we mapped out our exit strategies, figured out the business side of things.
We've done our homework.
But let's be real. Moving to Dubai, it's about more than just, spreadsheets and visas.
It's about the lifestyle.
It's about experiencing a whole new way of life.
Absolutely.
And that's where Tuomas's insights in his video, they really stand out.
Yeah.
Because he goes beyond just the technical stuff and gives you a feel for, like, the vibe of Dubai.
The heart and soul.
The heart and soul, yeah.
Exactly.
And I love how he emphasizes the cultural dynamics because Dubai is such a melting pot
It really is.
of nationalities,
So many different people.
all bringing their own customs and perspectives.
Like a global village.
It is. It's a global village. You're constantly interacting with people from all over the world.
Yeah, you've got to be open-minded.
We have to be, like, respectful and adaptable.
Definitely.
He also talks about how Dubai is a city built on ambition and progress.
It's got a very driven energy.
There's this palpable energy there,
Yeah.
like a feeling that anything is possible.
It attracts dreamers and doers.
It does. People who are ready to,
Make their
mark on the world.
Yeah.
And that energy, it's infectious.
It's contagious.
It really pushes you to step up your game.
It does.
But it's not all work and no play, right?
No, of course not.
Dubai also has this amazing social scene.
Incredible restaurants.
World-class restaurants, entertainment venues.
And those beaches.
Those beaches, everyone talks about the beaches.
They're stunning.
So Tuomas really encourages newcomers to explore everything Dubai has to offer.
Find your balance.
Find your rhythm, find your balance.
Yes, exactly.
He also talks about how important it is to build a solid social network.
It's crucial when you're in a new place.
It makes you feel supported, helps you settle in,
Absolutely.
and he even shares some practical tips for navigating daily life.
Yeah, like the little things.
Like how to get around using their public transportation, which is super efficient.
It's amazing.
Figuring out the grocery shopping, the healthcare system.
All those essentials.
It's those little details that can really make a difference.
They can make or break your experience.
I thought it was really interesting how Tuomas talked about his personal growth.
Oh, yeah, he mentioned that.
He said that moving to Dubai pushed him outside of his comfort zone,
The challenge.
forced him to learn new skills, gain new perspectives.
You grow a lot when you're outside of your comfort zone.
You do. You have to. It's a testament to how transformative it can be to embrace new challenges
Yeah.
and immerse yourself in a different culture.
It stretches you.
It stretches you in ways you never thought possible. So as we wrap up this deep dive into moving to Dubai,
Right.
What key insights should our listeners be focusing on if they're seriously considering making this move?
Well, I think preparation is key.
Always, right.
Do your research, understand the costs, get those finances in order, and don't underestimate that exit strategy from your home country.
It's like laying the groundwork for your Dubai adventure. And remember, you don't have to go through this alone.
Lots of resources out there.
Resources like DreamSoft can be incredibly valuable.
They can really help.
They can guide you through all the tricky parts.
Yeah, the complicated stuff.
Of setting up your business, handling the legal and financial matters, and even building that strong online presence.
Which, like we said, is so important.
Having a well-designed website,
Yeah.
a solid SEO strategy,
Engaging content.
that can really make a difference in attracting clients.
Absolutely.
And establishing your brand in Dubai.
It's a competitive market.
It is. It's a competitive market.
Yeah.
So DreamSoft's expertise and support, it can be a real game changer,
It can.
especially in a fast-paced environment like Dubai.
You need all the help you can get. And finally, I think the biggest thing is to be open to the experience, embrace the culture,
Yeah.
the challenges,
Challenges for sure.
and the incredible opportunities that come with living in such a dynamic city.
Dubai is a place where dreams can be realized,
It is.
but it takes effort.
Yeah.
It takes adaptability
You got to be willing to work for it.
and a willingness to push your
To
boundaries.
step outside your comfort zone.
So there you have it, our deep dive into moving to Dubai in 2024, inspired by Tuomas's awesome guide.
We covered a lot.
We explored the practical side, the challenges, and the amazing rewards of making the city your new home. Now it's your turn, listeners. What resonated with you most from this deep dive? What questions are swirling around in your mind? What possibilities are starting to take shape? Take that inspiration and turn it into action. Start planning, start researching, start envisioning your future in Dubai. And remember, we're here to support you every step of the way with future deep dives and insightful resources.